Hello learners. In today's class, we'll discuss the design of 2S slab, the guidelines on the RCC code, and we'll discuss one problem in another class. So what do you mean by 2S slab? We have discussed it also in 1-way slab discussion that in the rooms, in the buildings you have different rooms, the room sizes are different. So one will be the length along the short direction, length along the y direction. So that is the Lx and Ly. Okay. Now depending on the dimension of Ly and Lx, we can say this is a 2S slab or 1-way slab. So we'll discuss also on the codal provision on this, given that if your effective span Ly effective by Lx effective is less than equal to 2, then it is called a 2S slab. So if you know the room size, calculate effective span. You know how to calculate effective span. That is the clear span plus D effective or center of support, whichever is less. So calculate this value. If it is less than 2, then it is called as a 2S slab. So we'll see what are the codal provisions on the 2S slab. So open your IS code 456. Go to page number 90. Where that is in your annexure D. Go to annexure D, where you find slabs spanning in 2 directions. So it has 2 kind of slabs. So one is the restrained slabs, another is the simple supported slabs. There are 2 kind of slabs. In the next page you can see bending moment coefficient for slabs spanning 2 directions, simply supported on 4 edges. So there are 2 kind of problems will come here, either simple supported slab or restrained slab. Restrained slab means it is a end in one side and continuous other side, or there are different edge conditions. So panels conditions like interior panels, or the one side continuous, one long side continuous, 2 edges discontinuous. So like many things will come. We'll discuss on that. So first is restrained slab. What is the restrained slab? When the corners of a slab are prevented from lifting, the slab may be designed as specified on D1.1 to D1.11. So this is annexure D, so it is given D1.1 to 1.11. Now, what is the meaning of the prevented from lifting? Now, if you have a slab, and if you see this is a slab. Now, if the slab is prevented from lifting, that means if a parapet, you think of parapets over this your roof slab, then when the load is applied on the slabs, the corners may be lifted on the top. So to prevent that, if you provide some structures or construction on the sides of the roof, then or the slab, then slabs are prevented from lifting. So this is very clearly written on the question whether the slab is a restrained slab or it is a simply supported slab. So restraint can be done in many ways. Now, if it is a restrained slab, then what is the maximum bending moment? We have already discussed that in 1-way slab, the maximum bending moment depends on the span and the support condition, like WL square by 8, WL square by 2 for cantilever, or this cantilever slab. Then simply supported WL square by 8. For continuous slabs, you have different coefficients to find these bending moments. Now, for the restrained slab, 2-way restrained slab, the maximum bending moments per unit width in slab, we have also discussed that always you take 1 meter width. 1 meter width, unit width you will take. Then the bending moment in x direction is equal to alpha x w Lx square, and also my in the long direction it is alpha y w Lx square. In both cases it is Lx square. Don't confuse that it is one Lx, one Ly. Both are Lx square. What is alpha x, alpha y? Alpha x, alpha y are the coefficients given table 26 in the next page number 91. W is the total load per unit area. Load means again in slab you have the dead load, live load, floor finish. So combine all this you will find the total design load. Then mx, my is the moments on strips unit width spanning Lx and Ly respectively, where Ly and Lx are the lengths of the shorter span and longer span respectively. So you find out the effective spans on these long directions, short directions, and then you can find the moments. So moments directly can obtain here. from by taking the coefficients alpha x and alpha y. So how to take alpha x, alpha y, you will see on the table number 26. So let us go to table number 26. Next page, go to table 26. What the table 26 says? Bending moment coefficients for rectangular panels supported on 4 sides with the provision of torsion at the corners. So in case of this 2A slab, restraint slab, in addition to the main reinforcement, you will provide the torsional reinforcement wherever required at the corners. It is not given in simply supported slab, but in case of if 4 edges are discontinuous, you think of the 4 edges are discontinuous, okay, then you have to provide a torsion reinforcement at the corners wherever it is required. So in 2 layers it will be provided. We will see as given on these guidelines on the code. So you have to provide torsion reinforcement on the top face of the slab, torsion reinforcements. Now, what are different kind of panels? If you will find different kind of panels, you will find that the slab is interior panel. Interior panel means that let us draw a building with a number of roofs. Suppose you have a roof like this way, okay? So you have a number of, you can go to the blackboard to see it better. Okay, now you come here, you will see that what is the meaning of this interior panel. One is continuous, one is discontinuous. All these things we can discuss in a better way here itself. Okay. Now let me draw a building roof. Okay. Now you have the number of spans and number of panels in this building. Okay. So let's take this like way. So there will be 1, 2, let be 3. Okay. And on the other side, we have 1, 2, 3. Now, these panels are called interior panels. It is continuous on all sides. That is interior panels. And here, this is called 2 adjacent edges are discontinuous. 2 adjacent edges are discontinuous. These panels will be 2 adjacent edges discontinuous. And if this is a short span, if it is a short span, this is a long span. So the long spans and one short span is continuous. So it is called as one short edge discontinuous. Similar thing will come here, one short edge discontinuous. And these panels can one long edge discontinuous. So all these cases will come like that way. But if you have a one room building with only one slab, one roof building with one slab, then 4 edges are discontinuous. So this is how we will know the different conditions given on the code. Okay, you can see now negative moments at continuous edge, interior panel, one short edge continuous, one long edge discontinuous, 2 adjacent edges discontinuous, 2 short edges discontinuous. It may also come 2 short edges discontinuous, 2 long edges discontinuous. So similar situation may come 3 edges discontinuous, 3 edges with the 1 long edge continuous, 1 short edge continuous, and 4 edges discontinuous. There are 4 different kind of conditions. So the slab we are going to design, see which condition is satisfying. So if it is a continuous case, then we have negative moments, but we will think now the positive moments. We have designed for the positive moments and mid span, mx and my. The positive moments depend on what? You see the short span coefficient alpha x, long span coefficient alpha y. Long span coefficient alpha y remains same, one value. This has only one value. This has only one value. You see, this is the only one value. For any value of Ly by Lx, the ratio of the Ly by Lx already you have found out. It is less than 2. Now, between 1 to 2, any value will come. This is equal to 0.00324 for interior panels. And for the alpha x, you have to again do the linear interpolation between the coefficients. Suppose you have a coefficient 1.25, Ly by Lx is equal to 1.25 and 3, and it is an interior panel. So what is alpha x? Now you come to here, positive midspan, 1.25 means 1.2, 1.3, so 0.03 to 0.036. So it is in between, so it will be 0.034. So you can do the linear interpolation as you have done for this calculating shear stresses. So in the similar fashion you can find out. So for any condition, you can find out these alpha x and alpha y values for any of these conditions. So already you have found Ly by Lx. Depending on Ly by Lx, you see where the coefficient fits on this table. Then by linear interpolation, find out the value of alpha x. We'll see this in a problem on solving the next lecture. So and alpha y remain constant. Alpha y remain constant for any value of Ly Lx between 1 and 2. It is only single value. So these are the values which is being calculated for finding out the maximum bending moment mx and my for the slabs, restrained slabs. Restrained slabs or the corners are prevented from lifting. Either it will be written in the question, corners of slabs are prevented from lifting, or restrained slab. That's both are the same thing. So once you find mx, my, then you can find out area of steel. So other things will remain same as for this one-way slab design. You can find area of steel in x direction depending on mx, area of steel in y direction depending on my, and then you can compare with the minimum steels 0.12% of gross area and find the spacing of reinforcement as you have found, as we have discussed it for cantilever slab and also for the one-way RC slab. Now what is next is done. D1.2 slabs are considered as divided in each direction into middle strips. Edge strips are shown in figure 25, and middle strip being 3/4 of the width and edge strip is 1/8 of the width. So and whatever moments you have found in D1.1, that will only apply to middle strips and no redistribution shall be made. So whatever the spacing you will find from these moments in mx and my by using alpha x WLX square alpha y WLX square, these steels will be provided only in the middle strips and then no distribution. So now we see what is the middle strip and side strips. Go to the bottom, it is given the diagram. Okay, if it is Ly Lx, there will be also short edge strips and also long edge strip. Okay, and this portion is called the middle edge. So whatever steel you will get, you will find in the middle edge strip and also in the middle edge strip. One in long direction, one in short direction. Short direction steels will provide along the length. Long direction steels provided along the short length. Okay, so this we have to provide the steel on the reinforcements on the thing. Now these are the edge strip. What will provide the edge strip, that will be written. But the edge strip value, it is only here it is Lx by 8, it is here Ly by 8. Okay, and the middle strips are 3/4 of the respective dimensions. 3/4 by Lx, 3/4 by Ly. Now come to this next clause. Tensor reinforcements provided midspan in the middle strip shall extend in the lower part of the slab to within 0.25 L for a continuous edge and 0.15 L. So what it says, if you draw this again the slab, draw a slab. So if you take the slab section, then what is being told that this middle strip will be provided up to extend up to 0.25 L. That means you have to bend these bars. These bars is there. So at 0.25 L, you can go and bend up the bars. And for the discontinuous size, it will be 0.15 L. The bars can be bent up at 0.15 L here and 0.25 L for the continue. Suppose you have the slab is continuing like this way. So it is a support here given. Okay. So this distance here will be 0.25 L. So this is will be 0.25 L. Also on the other side, this will be also 0.25 L. Okay. So they can be extended 0.25 L. strip shall be extend for the lower part of the slab in within 0.25 L for a continuous edge, 0.15 L for discontinuous edge. So if it is discontinuous edge, it is 0.15 L where you can bend up the bars, and here at 0.25 L you can bend up the bars. Next, over the continuous edges of a middle strip, the tension reinforcement shall extended in the upper part of the slab, distance 0.15 L from the support, and at least 50% shall extend to a distance 0.3 L. Now what will happen? Whatever steel you will bend here, this steel will extended up to 0.3 L from the center. It should go 0.3 L from this side. Okay, 0.3 L from this side. Also, other side, the steel will come. That will also extended 0.3 L to this side, and these steels will go up to 0.15 L on the top on the top side 0.15 L. If you draw a diagram, you can understand this, how the rods will be provided. This is basically distribution of steels on this section. Now, what is the next clause? All the discontinuous edge negative moments may use. They depend on the degree of fixity at the edge of the slab, but in general, tension reinforcement equal to 50% of that provided at mid span, extending 0.1 L into the span will be sufficient. That means what does it mean? The rods for this, suppose you have two spans like this, okay. Now the main reinforcement, suppose you draw the reinforcement. The reinforcement here you are 50% bar is bent up, and these bars are bent up at 0.25 L, okay, for continuous edge. And then after bent up, this will be on the upper part, this can be extended up to 0.3 L on this side, okay, 0.3 up to this side. Now these bars will not stop at here, they will be extended up to 0.1 L on this side. So this distance will be again 0.1 L. The bars will not stop on this span, it will be extended on this side. That's the meaning of the 0.1 L into the span will be sufficient. Reinforcement in the edge strip parallel to that edge shall comply with the minimum reinforcement. So what will the value of the reinforcement in the edge strip? That is again minimum steel, that is 0.12% of the gross area, 0.1 BD by 100. That is the percentage to be provided, the minimum steel. Now come to the torsion steel. We are discussing about the torsion steel, torsion reinforcement. Torsion reinforcement shall be provided. What is it? Torsion reinforcement shall be provided at any corner where the slab is simply supported on both edges. So it is not continuous. And the continuous edges you don't require any torsion reinforcement. Where it is discontinuous or where it is simply supported, that you need the torsion reinforcement. So how to provide it? It shall consist of top and bottom. There are two layers, top layers and bottom layers. Top and bottom reinforcements, each with layers of bars placed parallel to the sides of the slab, extending from the edges of a minimum distance 1/5 of the shutter span. If it may be long or short, you have to take 1/5 of the span. And the area of the reinforcement in each of these four layers shall be 3/4 of the area required at the maximum mid span. So whatever the area you have calculated on the mid span depending on this formula, and this steel into 3/4 of the AST maximum will be considered to be provided. So let come to again. Suppose this is a simple supported slab, and you need to provide the reinforcement at these corners. Okay, so these are suppose continuous, discontinuous edge. So what it says, torsion reinforcement provided at any corner where the slab is supported on both edges meeting at that corner. It shall consist of top and bottom layer. So you have to provide reinforcement in a top layer and bottom layer. So now what is the distance? This distance is being top, this distance and also this distance where it will be provided. These distances are Lx by 5. No Ly. The distance will be Lx by 5. In the Lx by 5 in the square, you have to again provide the cover here. Cover will be here, cover will be here. Then the steel will be provided in the remaining part in layers, and each layer will be parallel to the slab, extending from the edge minimum distance 1/5 of the shutter span. area of reinforcement each of these 4 layers will be 3/4. So the area will be 3/4 of this area at the mid span. So that is the maximum mid span moment will provided. So this is regarding the torsion. So torsion reinforcement is only provided where slab is simply supported. That means it is discontinuous. There are no continuity of the slab on either edge. So the next clause is torsion reinforcement equal to half that described in 1.8 shall provided at a corner contained by edges over only one of which slab is continuous. So half of this will be given if one edge continuous, one edge discontinuous. That is also possible. Like we have seen the things that one short edge discontinuous, one long edge discontinuous. That means here what we'll find out. Let me again draw this drawing. So if you have the buildings like this way, suppose this is a slab. Now what will happen? This here this short edge discontinuous. Okay, what it says, torsion reinforcement equal to half that described in 1.8 is provided at a corner contained by edges over only one of which slab is continuous. One of which of the slab is continuous. So this slab is continuous, but this is discontinuous. Okay. So in this point here you will provide reinforcement half of this provided at other points. Okay. So reinforcement at here and reinforcement at here will be different. Here the both edges are discontinuous. Here is only one edge is discontinuous. So provide half of the torsion reinforcement required here. But where all the edges are continuous, you don't need this torsion reinforcement on these things. So this is continuous. This side is continuous. So all side continuous means you don't need any torsion reinforcement here. Now the next clause, what it says that torsion reinforcement need not be provided at any corner contained by edges over both of which of the slab continuous. If the both edges are continuous, you don't need to provide this torsion reinforcement. And torsion Ly by Lx is greater than 2. The slab is called as spanning 1A. This we have discussed earlier, where it is given the codal provision. Here it is given. If Ly by Lx is greater than 2, then it is designed as a 1-way. So Ly by Lx less than Ly Lx is greater than 2, 1-way slab, less than equal to 2, that is called a 2-way slab. So this is the codal provision given. So these are all these guidelines that is given for this design of restraint slab, that both corners the corners are prevented from lifting. So you are providing the torsional reinforcement where there is a chance that corners can be lifted. Now next is given for simple supported slab. What is simple supported slab? When simple supported slab do not have adequate provision to resist torsion at corners and to prevent the corners from lifting. So here the corners are prevented from lifting, or here the corners are not prevented from lifting. So either the question will be given prevented from lifting or not prevented from lifting, or it will be restraint slab or simple supported slab. So read it carefully. If it is simple supported slab, there is no torsion requirement. Then the members for the moment will be alpha x double L square. Again, my is equal to alpha x double L square, but alpha x alpha y taken from the table 27, not 26. So various of value of alpha x alpha y values are given for various Ly by Lx ratio. So for Ly by Lx ratio, find the alpha x value and alpha y value. And if the value is intermediate values, then you go for the linear. If it is somewhere here, then you do go for the linear interpolation between 1.1 and 1.2. So mx my are same, and it is given on this table 27. And what is, so let us discuss this D 2.1.1. At least 50% of the tension reinforcement provided at midspan should extend the supports. So you have to extend the 50%. You can bend up 50% bar near the support. The remaining 50% should extend to within 0.1 Lx or 0.10 Ly of supports as appropriate. So at a distance of 0.15 at discontinuous edge, you can bend the bars, and the remaining bars you can take to the support. So it is like this, if it is simply supported slab like this. Okay. Now, so the bars will be on the main end portion, will go like this way. So 50% bars can be bent up here, and then they can be extended up to this side. So that is point, this side you can get 0.1 LX, and here it will be bent at 0.15 LY. Okay, 0.15 LX on both direction. You can provide like that way. So that's the meaning that the remaining 50% bars should extend within 0.1 LX or 0.1 LY. Now these are all regarding the moments calculations for this simply supported slab, and the difference you see for this restraint slab and simply supported slab is that the alpha x alpha y values are different, and there is no torsion reinforcement will be provided, or will not be required to calculate in case of the simply supported slab, because the corners are allowed to lift. And after this design for flexure, then you can go for the design for shear, design for deflection, design for development length, as it is done, or it is practiced in case of one-way slab or in case of beams. So with this we can conclude this lecture on the two-way slab, and we'll go in the next class. We'll discuss on this solution on this or example of one problems on restraint slab and one example on two-way slab. Have a nice